Hey guys, and welcome to part 1 of my new racing sim build series. In this series, I will share the process of building a racing sim setup from the ground up. I am super excited about today's video because I am about to build the rig that is right behind me. It is Trak Racer's newest aluminum profile rig, the TR160S. Trak Racer sent this rig for me to review, but I am not being paid for making this video, and I promise to share my honest opinions about it. Let's unbox and start laying all the parts of the setup down. Dang, look at that blue. That looks so good. I decided to go with the blue because I already have the Alpine TRX rig, which is blue, so I think that's gonna match really well and it's gonna look amazing. I received my rig within a week after the order was placed, and the first thing I noticed is that everything arrived very well packaged and that every box was labeled with the parts it contained, so it helped to make sure that I received all the parts. Every part feels very high quality, with a very nice finish on the paint and some nice branding all around. This is the TR160S and it is priced at $769. If you're not a fan of the blue, you can get it in black for $20 less. I decided to go with the GT style seat because I will make this setup more GT oriented. I went with the single monitor stand because I will go with ultra wide screen for this setup. I also added the shifter mount. Trak Racer released the original 160 chassis in 2019 and it quickly became one of the go-to rigs for sim racing enthusiasts. In 2021, they launched an upgraded version of the 160, the Mark IV, which was the result of Trak Racer taking all the feedback and suggestions from their customers. Now comes the TR160S. It's basically an evolved version of the original 160 that focuses more on a cleaner look and less pieces in less boxes for a more practical install. Okay, so we have everything out of the boxes and laid out here. So you can see on this side we have the brackets for the seat. On the other side is the mount for the pedals, and I will have to build that. Here is where the wheelbase will be, and I have here the mount for my shifter. So yeah, I think it's time to get to work and get this thing built. Just getting started on building the TR160S, the first thing that I noticed is how well the hardware is packaged. I remember building my previous profile rig and it was such a mess to just try to find the right screws and to try not to mix everything up. But here, everything is labeled exactly, so I know which screws I'm using, and everything is actually held onto this cardboard, which I think is gonna be really helpful to make sure that I'm not losing pieces as I'm building it. So props to Trak Racer for doing this, because I think that's going to be really helpful. We're starting on the seat side. I put up the instruction manual from the website and so far it's fairly straightforward. We're just attaching the parts together to build the frame of the rig. We're using the usual T-nuts as it is a profile rig, and thankfully I have some experience from doing it before, which makes the process a lot easier. The parts are not too heavy, but they feel solid and do not get scratched easily. We are now adding the frame for the wheelbase mount. I'm spending time ensuring that they're super straight using a level because this is the most important part of the rig that will have to support the strength of the wheel. Alright, so we have most of the base now built. That's the seat. It's gonna go here, and then the wheelbase will be on here. So what I have to build still is the pedal mount and just add basically support for the wheelbase and the slider for the seat. Overall, I mean, the process has been very smooth so far. The instructions are really clear. It's actually very easy and straightforward, so I'm pretty impressed. It looks very solid so far, and I really love the color. That metallic blue I think is really looking amazing, so can't wait to have it fully done. The pedal mount was probably the trickiest part of the install because it has multiple points of adjustment. Thus, it has to stay loose until you install the pedals and decide on the settings that you want. Still, it wasn't really time-consuming or difficult. To install the wheelbase mount, you will have to use some corner pieces that are somewhat weird to install because they have tabs on them. Thus, you will need to ensure that you install them as straight as possible to create a 90-degree angle with the side frames and increase rigidity. Although what we have here is a universal wheel mount, They also offer other options depending on which wheelbase you have. The next step is to install the brackets onto the seat. I recommend installing the seat higher on the brackets at the beginning, as it will give you more room to tie the bolts when you install the seat onto the sliders. Up until now, pretty much everything can be done by just one person. But the seat is always a little bit tricky to install, and I recommend having two people so someone can keep it straight while you tie it up to the sliders. Onto the last piece of this rig, the shifter mount. That must be the thing that I am the most excited about, because I do not have one on my current setup and I really like to drive manual cars. My car is a 6-speed, and when I train for the track, it will be awesome to be able to practice with the manual transmission. So this is it, the final product. I love it so much. I think it looks incredible and seems very solid. There are some very well thought out details that make it look and feel very high quality. I love that the seat can be moved so easily and that the pedal mount has so many points of adjustability. It is flexible in terms of position, but will remain very sturdy once finalized and fully tightened up. Alright, so we just got done, and take a look at this. I think it looks amazing. I think it's gonna match amazing in the room with the TRX by its side. I love the seat as well. I think it looks so nice. It has some Alcantara on it. But yeah, overall super happy with it. I'm super excited because I have this thing here that I don't have on my TRX, which is the mount for the shifter. So this setup is gonna be more GT oriented versus the other one that is more of a formula kind of hybrid position. I have to say the build process was actually a lot easier than I expected. I remember 3 or 4 years ago when I built my SimLab P1X, it felt a lot more difficult. I don't know if it's because I did it already, so it felt easier this time. I'm not sure exactly why, but this one felt very straightforward. The instructions were very clear. Again, as I showed, I think during the video, the way they made the hardware made it a lot more simple to just find the right things every time. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'm super happy. I think it took probably like 5-6 hours total to build it, and I'm waiting for now the monitor mount, which is the last piece to finish this and be able to install all the hardware, all the gear on this, and the monitor. So can't wait for that. I can't wait for the full setup to be completed. That will be in the next video, so if you want to see the full setup, the full build, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as I will be posting that next step very soon. So let me give you a quick tour of this rig. I went with the metallic blue one because I wanted it to match with my TRX, which is the Alpine blue. It's a slightly different color, but I think once the room is fully built, it's just gonna look amazing, the two together, and I think it just makes it so special when it's not just black. I have here the universal mount for the wheelbase, but I am also going to get the direct drive front mount for the wheelbase because I'm going to use this rig to review different types of products, so I will need the different types of mounts for the wheelbase. For the seat, I decided to go with the GT style again, just because this entire setup is going to be more GT focused. It feels very comfortable just like this, but obviously I will do a full review again once I have everything set up and when I'm actually driving in the sim. Here we have the slider, which allows you to really quickly adjust the seat just by pushing the slider down. I love that on the TRX as well, but they've done the same in here, so I'm super happy with that. The pedal mount is the only thing right now that is not properly secured because I will need to adjust it when I install the pedals on here and see what distance I want them to be. So it's still loose right now. I know they have two different styles that you can choose from. This version of the pedal mount is called the TR1 as opposed to the older pre-drill plate, which they still offer. The TR1 gives the rig a cleaner look, it's sturdier, and this design is also meant to easily fit a lot of the newer pedal sets on the market. So yeah, I think that's about it for today's video, for this first video of the build series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think about this rig in the comments. Do you like it? Do you like the color? I'm gonna put the link to this rig in the description below as well if you're interested. If you enjoyed watching, please give this video a like, and I will see you in the next one.